sexual reproduction,
Very good.
and about in asexual we read about cutting, layering, grafting,
Yes.
and
Is
we did a
it
lab activity on
this
it.
cutting, layering, and all you were learning in which organisms, which living organisms?
In plants.
Very good, very good. And
And I think from today we have to start the sexual reproduction.
starting, do we have to start with the sexual reproduction? Let's see. So we are. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So we did one lab activity, if you all remember. So what are we going to do in this lab activity? What are the precautions? Can anybody tell me what was the lab activity we were doing?
About bread.
About bread molds. Very good. So in bread mold, we have seen that how the rhizopas are formed, and those bread molds are not very, they are very infectious. So it is very important that whenever you're doing that experiment, you have to be cautious about it and take precautions. So let us see what all are the precautions we are supposed to take in this bread mold experiment. So what is very much important is, this should not be done by those who are having any allergies. And you avoid opening to the plastic bag as much as you can. You just try to see it within that plastic bag. Supposing if you have got any sort of allergies, so may take precautions that you shouldn't open and take out the bread mold. You can keep it inside the polythene pack only and observe the molds on it. Okay. And if you touch the bread, be sure to thoroughly wash your hands afterwards. If at all you have, during the experiments, you have touched the bread, then, you make sure that you wash your hands after it. And now let us see what are sporophylls. As I have told you, this is where, we have seen these sporophylls at the back of the leaf. And this plant is very common, and especially you can see it in in Salarjan colony, just beside our school also. So please go and see that. You observe these leaves. If you observe these leaves, the lower surface of it has got a cluster of sporangia. A structure, of sporophylls, and these are the structures. Can you all see on the screen how it looks like? And any one of you have observed this? Am I audible? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, ma'am.
So what was my question? Can you repeat my question?
Recording in progress.
And water and various natural resource sources, and how does a powdery substance inside is it, that is what is called as a sporangia. It's a pollen like powdery substance that spread throughout, and that's how reproduction and new plants keep generating. So this is how a reproduction through sporangia takes place. If you can see a clear microscopic look, इतना बड़ा, हालांकि आप वो लीव्स के पीछे देखेंगे तो वो बहुत छोटे छोटे रहते हैं. एक्चुअली अंडर द माइक्रोस्कोप मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लास के नीचे देखेंगे तो आप This is the exact shape of Sporangia. And inside this sporophyll, in the sporophyll plants, you can see this, which is responsible for reproduction. And what does this spores, the spore contains? This sporangia, this whole ball-like structure which you are seeing on the back of the leaf is called sporangia. And this contains spores inside it. With the, if you can take a needle here, again, you don't touch it with your naked hand or anything, you know, these are again infectious ones. Take a small needle and check it, because most of the people, they say that they have got pollen allergy or different sorts of allergies. So these sporangias and all are responsible for such type of allergies. So you should not touch it directly, because once you touch it with your finger, again there is a possibility that you touch it your eyes, nose, or any part, and then you get infected. So if you are observing this sporangia with a needle under a magnifying lens, you see how we are. So you can see this black spores around it. So how is this sexual it takes place? You know, that was another asexual mode of respiration which we were seeing. So now we are come back to sexual reproduction. Can anybody tell me what is the major difference between asexual and sexual reproduction? Yes.
In sexual reproduction, we need two genders and two persons. In asexual reproduction, only one is enough.
Ah, yes, very good. So this is the major difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, we see that there are two types of gametes, that is the male and female. They have to fuse together and form and fertilized, and fertilization has to take place. So we can see this sexual reproduction happening in the male and female frogs. So, and in male and female frog, we called it as an external fertilization. What do you mean by external fertilization and internal fertilization? Can anybody give me? Because you have already studied in 9th class also, I believe. What
internal fertilization is fertilization happens inside the body, and external fertilization means fertilization which occurs outside the body.
Very good, very good. So here what is happening in frog, you know, you can just say that, see that these, they lay eggs outside, inside the water. It is outside their body where the male and female gametes meet and they fertilize and give rise to the newborn babies. So this fertilization takes place outside the body. Whereas if you look at the human beings, it is inside the body. And even if you look at the cows, which are all mammals, majority of the mammals, they all have got internal fertilization, whereas the eggs are fertilized inside the body, and then, you know, the fertilization takes place. And if you look at the aquatic animals, like frog is actually not an aquatic animal, it is an amphibian. It has got both, you know, inside in water, it can live both on water and on land. So we see that external fertilization is very common in aquatic, the animals that lives in water. And frog also, for reproduction, it goes and lays its egg inside in the water. Though it's an amphibian, but it generally does the fertilization in water. And fish amphibians, because we see the tadpole of a frog in the water only. So what does the female does? Female lays vast number of eggs in the water, female frog. You can see the female and male frog, the slight difference. You can see when the female frogs have got lot of ovules, you can see a bulged stomach of a female frog. And then, you know, millions of sperms are spread in the water by a male frog. And then these sperms and eggs, does go for fertilization, and this cycle takes place. You can see a change of fertilization is controlled by a nature which occurs externally. Hence, it is inevitable to give rise to vast number of eggs and sperms. So how is this getting, you can see the frogs laying eggs and the sperms, and which is fertilizing here and giving rise to a tadpole. So this cycle continues here.
Ma'am,
Is
tadpole is basically the kid of frogs, right?
no, tadpole is the one which we can see it in many aquatic animals. This baby, small baby that starts developing into, and before it gets converted in an adult, we called it as a tadpole stage. So it is not only in a frog, all this in many stages, life cycles of these animals, we call it a tadpole. Okay.
Okay, so it's just a name of a stage in
Yeah, it's a
development.
stage, yes. During the developmental
Okay.
stage, it's a name given as tadpole to it. So you can see that
Okay,
how the
thanks.
tadpole is getting converted into an adult frog. And this is all happening inside the water, external, outside the body. But in man, human being, we can see that reproduction in mammals. Mammals, what are mammals? We have earlier also told you, how can you identify mammals?
Who directly give birth to the child, right?
Yes, babies, very good. They give direct birth to the babies. And what else do we see?
They have 2 hands and 2 legs, like 4 legs.
The animals who have ears outside, they give birth directly, and the animals who don't
Yeah,
have ear outside, they give eggs.
They
yeah,
lay
they lay
eggs.
eggs.
Okay, that is very good. This is also one of the demarcation
Good
of egg
point.
laying animals, a very good point.
Yeah.
And these mammalians who fertilize. And the basic I have told you, where you will find the hair on the body. Mammalians do have hair on the body, and they
Yes,
feed
yes.
their young ones. So mammalians, especially human beings, they have got spatial reproductive organs, both male and female, to carry it out. So this is the male organisms and the female organisms, and these human beings, spatial reproductive organs, we are going to deal and study in detail about each and every part. Like you have already studied about digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system. So similarly, we have got a reproductive system also. So what all are the
Yes.
various parts? As you have seen in digestive system, you have got from mouth to anus, you have got different distinct organs that are involved in the whole process of digestion. So also we have got different parts in the reproductive system. So let us see what all are the various parts in a male reproductive system. It consists of testis, epididymis, sperm, duct, urethra, prostate gland, corpus gland, and the seminal vesicles. So these are the all parts of a male reproductive system. And I want you all to draw this diagram, and then one after the other, these you have to read out all the parts, and then we'll discuss about its functions. So please draw this diagram and label the parts. The organs, yeah, what is present in the reproductive system of a male reproductive system in a human being. Can you read out all the parts, Alina?
Yes, ma'am. Testes,
Yes.
epididymis, sperm duct, seminal vessels,
Hmm.
prostate gland, Cowper's gland.
Very good. Urethra you missed. So these all are the parts of a human male reproductive system in human beings. So now you can see that there are a pair of testes. They have got 2 testes, and they are located in and out a pocketing of the body wall, and this covering, you can see the covering, it is called as scrotum. So it is covered inside a sac-like structure called scrotum. So yeah, you all can see it is labeled over there. So now let us see in detail the structure of the testis. How is it? If you can just relate it with, can you just relate it? How does it look like in earlier sessions when we were going through? Any, this structure has got resemblance with anything? We were, just now we were talking about in plants, in asexual respiration, reproduction. There were gametes that were inside the sporangia. Have you not seen the structure of the sporangia? Was also somewhere similar to this, isn't it? Do you all agree or not? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So, similarly here also you can see that is how, from these organisms have evolved, and human beings are the highly evolved organisms. So we can see the series of changes that has taken place, and the sperms are produced in very large number in this series of small, highly coiled tubes in each of these testes, and inside this and these sperms are in millions, like you see the spores that were bursting out from the sporangium. Similarly, you will see the same sperm cells that moves out of the testes to the outside through epididymis, vasa deferens, and urethra. So you can see the parts from which, from the testis, these sperms, they passes through epididymis, and then these are the tubules called seminal vesicles. Then the prostate gland, you have seen Cooper's gland. These all are responsible in lubricating and sending this sperm cells out through the urethra. And again, we have learned about the hormones. The hormone that controls this secondary sexual characteristics in human being men is the testosterone. We have learned about testosterone and progesterone in the females. So these men produce sperms from the age of 13 to 14 years, and this goes on, and they goes on doing it mostly till throughout their life. And its power may decrease with the age, but it continues till they die. So now next class, tomorrow we will learn about the female reproductive system. But before that, go through the videos shared in your groups as well as from your textbooks. Be thorough in all parts of it. And today only Alina has taken part. Tomorrow I want each and every one of you to learn
And
these
I was
terminologies.
also interactive. I gave 3 answers.
Yes, of course you did, Ramsha, but I mean to say about these different
The
parts of
diagram.
the diagram. So you all have to be active in a draw. I don't want very artistic diagrams, just scientific diagrams, and labeling the parts, understanding it, you need not rote learn. Once you understand it, you will be able to write about the whole system very easily. So now we have got only 48
Yes,
seconds
ma'am.
left. Yes.
My my pencil was not sharpened, so I was sharpening it. After I pray namaz and attend physics and
Classes, yes.
maths class, I will send you the diagram by evening. Okay.
Very good. Thank you so much. And for tomorrow's class, because during my classes, I will be asking you to draw, because drawing diagrams and understanding different parts in any system which we go through in the biology is in all the sciences, even physical science or biological science, you have to first draw the diagrams and then write the answers. So every